Bonjour, bienvenue. Aujourd'hui, c'est le jeudi 11 mars. Donc, on peut parler d'une vacance avec je suis allé, et puis là, on va vraiment parler pas vraiment des discourse markers, mais des expressions de temps. Ok, je vais faire une petite parenthèse étymologique, et puis on va faire un échauffement, puis on va revoir ces textes, texte A et texte B, qu'on a vu hier. Et puis, on va parler des expressions de temps un petit peu, si nous avons le temps. On verra. OK. Parenthèse étymologique. Etymologique is kind of a fun word. Does anybody know what etymology is? Etymology? Or can you guess what parenthèse might mean? Any guesses? No idea. Yeah, that's okay. No ideas? No guesses? Parenthèse? OK. Je fais une parenthèse étymologique pour vous parler de la langue française. Okay? So etymology is the development. Logos, logi, means like a science. Okay, so it's kind of the science of, so etymology, herbology, sociology, right? Anthropology, logi, logique, so it's the logos, the logic of something. Etymology is the etymology, the development of words in a language. And we're learning French, and there's a fun part of the language that came up yesterday in class, and I cannot resist a little parentheses, a little side note. Ok, donc avant le XVIIe siècle, la langue française variait beaucoup de région en région. Il y a eu beaucoup de variations. Euh, le français de Paris était différent du français de Bordeaux. Le français de Brest était différent du français de Lyon, etc., etc. Donc, il y avait beaucoup de langues à l'intérieur de la langue française. Le breton, l'occitan, etc., etc. Okay. Donc, il y avait beaucoup de variations. So before this time, there were lots of variations in the French language, so much so that you might not understand somebody in the Limousin region, for example. And people might even speak what we would call dialects today, like Breton, which is closer to Celtic than it is to French necessarily. Celtic, which they spoke in the Irish area, Ireland area. Ok, donc ça variait beaucoup. Mais à partir de 1632, donc l'Académie française, ok, à partir de 1632, l'Académie française et Monsieur Vogla notamment a lancé un gros effort de standardiser la langue française, de standardiser, de faire uniforme la langue française. Ok, ils ont commencé à mettre fin à ces variations. So I really love this period in France, and I can nerd out forever if you're interested, but I won't. I will spare you, but I'm not going to resist this temptation to talk about this, where the Sun King, Louis XIV, wanted to standardize the French language and kind of squash all the different variations. Okay, so l'Académie Française, the French Academy, you can Google it. It's an interesting organization that organizes language. A décidé de lancer un gros effort de standardiser la langue française. Hein? Parmi d'autres choses, l'usage des accents est devenu plus important. Ok, donc on voit l'usage des accents changer. Ok, so yesterday, somebody noticed, oh, Washington, Island, Washington Island, and I said, yeah, and then I got really nerdy and I got really excited and I didn't have a chance to do this little sidebar. So I'm doing it now. OK, donc parmi d'autres choses, l'usage des accents est devenu plus important. Donc le verbe être être. Before it was être. It was pronounced the same way, but there was an S. And if anybody has a good guess for why that was, you can put it in the chat. So starting in 1632-ish, it became être with the accent, like we know it today. And then il, the pronunciation was the same. Il. Pronunciation didn't change so much, but the spelling did. They used this accent. Forêt. Ut. Can anybody see a pattern here? Yeah, getting rid of the S and replacing it with this accent. Yeah. Okay. I think this stuff is really interesting because can you guess what forêt means in English? Yeah, forest. Can you guess what ut means in English? Does anybody have a guess? A host, somebody who's having guests over, okay? Etc., etc. And you know, il, this might look really strange, but this you might think, oh, island, isle. Okay, and for those of you who speak Spanish, estar, être, estar. So this was closer to the Latin. These were a lot closer to the Latin, and they actually went further away from the Latin with the accents, which was different because they actually tried to be closer to Latin in a lot of other ways. But this is one of the ways where French got further away from Latin. And that's the end. I'm closing my etymological parentheses right there. I am a big nerd and I love this stuff. So if you're interested, please ask questions and I will answer them. One person asked, why is he called the Sun King? Now, I really studied this era a whole lot. Does anybody know about the Sun King? Does anybody know what his deal was? Ok, voilà, on a parlé un petit peu de Louis XIV, le roi soleil, the Sun King. I digressed quite a bit because I'm a big nerd. Le roi soleil. So y'all can Google him if you're interested. Very interesting character. Ok, je clôt ma parenthèse, je termine ma parenthèse étymologique. Allez, ok, donc pour l'échauffement, il y a un an, aujourd'hui, il y a un an, l'Organisation mondiale de la santé, WHO, l'Organisation mondiale de la santé a déclaré que la COVID constituait une pandémie, une véritable pandémie. Verona, ici, Verona, dans le Wisconsin, a annoncé que les cours allaient avoir lieu à distance, que nous allions faire des cours à distance. Et encore aujourd'hui, on porte des masques, nous sommes virtuels, je suis avec vous par Zoom. Okay. Qu'est-ce que tu as pensé ce jour-là? Qu'est-ce que tu as pensé ce jour-là? Ce jour-là, j'ai pensé. Ce jour-là, je n'ai pas pensé. Okay. Qu'est-ce que tu as pensé ce jour-là? Ok, donc qu'est-ce que tu as pensé? J'ai pensé, ah génial, je vais jouer aux jeux vidéo toute la journée. Génial, pas de cours. Euh, super, je vais pouvoir dormir. Je n'ai pas pensé, ah ça va durer un an. Je n'ai pas pensé, ok, ça va durer un an. Ok, bon. Ok, donc mes vacances, Okay, so we started this yesterday, right? And I'd like to continue this work today. I don't know if I'll read the text aloud again. I think I'll skip that part. I'll ask you to go ahead and look at these texts again. right, so we looked at these yesterday. And today what I'd like you to do is to hop on over into Canvas, and there's like a Canvas quiz. It's just an activity. En vacances 3. En vacances 3. And what this is this is asking similar questions to what we went through yesterday. Questions like, what kind of text is this? What is the text about? When did this happen? But it develops them a little bit. It goes a little bit more in depth. All right. So please go ahead and take a look at that. The link to texts, that's a link to slides, to Google Slides with the two texts if you want. Otherwise, the two texts are also in the quiz, where it's copied as a text in there. So let's go ahead and take a look at those and spend some time rereading those texts and answering those questions. So let's take, let's see, it's 11:43. Let's take at least 6 minutes to do that. And yeah. Let's take at least 6 minutes, and I'd like you to at least answer the first 6 questions. I think it's the first 6. Ok, très bien. Hein, donc, voyons les réponses. Hein, donc, on a les deux textes. Hein, texte A, texte B. Okay, so please go ahead and send me an answer in the chat for each of these. When is this text taking place? In the near future, last year, or this week? There's one that'll be a better answer. Last year, last year, avant la pandémie. Who's the main character or subject in this text? Yeah, nous. Excellent. We're seeing a lot of nous. We're not seeing elle or il used as much, or at all, to be honest. But we're seeing nous avons vu, nous avons visité, a little bit of je, but je kind of goes along with nous a little bit. Yeah, so nous. And what kind of text is this? We talked about this yesterday. It's a personal story, And so oftentimes when we have nous or je, it only makes sense that we'll have a personal story. Yeah, awesome. Let's move on to text B real quick. L'été dernier, ma famille et moi, nous sommes allés en vacances, etc., etc. So when is this text taking place? And I got somebody, yeah? I got somebody in here in class who's got some great answers, but I'd love to hear from folks at home too. You can speak up or put it in the chat. If you speak up, it won't be recorded. It's just going straight to my headphones.
Last summer.
You got it. Last summer. Good job. Okay. Last summer. L'été dernier. Who's the main character or subject? Nous? Excellent. Yes, it is nous. We're not seeing il or elle. We're seeing nous sommes restés. Ma famille et moi, nous sommes allés. Super. A little bit of je. What kind of text is this? It's a personal story. Okay, we talked about this yesterday. It's a personal story. So now what I'd like you to do, we didn't get through all the things that I'd hoped to get through today. That's okay, it was kind of ambitious. I'd like to keep working on this, okay? Treat this as kind of like a worksheet, sort of. So for tonight, definitely answer question 7, so that for tomorrow we can go over that together. And if you get to it, you can do question 8 as well. And you can submit it. if you don't finish, so for right now, for example, if you're done with the first 6 and you need to take some more time to work on question 7, you can leave and it'll save your progress, okay? All right. And you can retake it. Yes, you can retake it. Yes. Yeah, definitely. OK. OK. Donc, pour demain, s'il vous plaît, terminez cette activité. On va terminer ça ensemble. So, tomorrow, we'll start talking about these expressions in French. Okay, il y a un an. And maybe you can finish them in French, but I was going to invite you to finish them in English. So, tomorrow, we can work on that as we go over kind of this little activity, this little reading activity, okay? I said it yesterday, but I'll say it again. I am so excited for y'all to learn this past tense and to get exposed to it. You're not going to master it, okay? We're not expecting that. I'm not expecting that. I should just say I. I'm not expecting that, and I really don't want you to expect that. What I would love to have you do by the end of this unit is to recognize it and start getting familiar with a couple expressions and be able to use it. And I am always so stoked for y'all to learn this tense because it opens up your expression. It's like taking the French that you already have, which is already significant, and it's like exponentially increasing it. Right? It's like boom, like all of a sudden you can express yourself so much more, and it's so exciting for me to hear more from y'all in French and to hear you express yourselves more in French with more variety. So I'm stoked. um, all right, so I'll say au revoir for the recording, and I'll stick around to answer